Hey, what up? It's Khalil with Sales Story Ninja, and today I want to talk about change.
Aloha! Follow me as I share with you what I learned back on the sales line. I'm Khalil McCabe, and this is Sales Story Ninja.
Hey, aloha, this is Khalil with Sales Story Ninja, and I'm actually in the backyard of my house again. My neighbor is actually doing construction, so you can see some of the construction stuff up. But what I want to talk about today is what do you do when life around you is changing and it feels like nothing is safe, nothing is there? This week is Easter week. Palm Sunday was on Sunday. Good Friday is Friday. And so, for me, when all this stuff is going around, all this craziness with the COVID-19 thing, I I kind of ask myself and I go, okay, what's going on? What out there is changing, right? And I ask myself honestly, like, how will the world come out in the 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, however many days it's going to take to get out of this thing? How is the world going to be different? And what I realized as I kind of pondered on this question is I can't control the change around me. Like the change around me is going to happen. People are going to be out there. They're going to be extra protective. In fact, I know I joke about it, but my wife is one of the best people in my opinion in terms of being super protective. She will literally take everything that we've ever, like, if I have to go to the store and get food, she's wiping it down, taking Clorox wipes, cleaning it out. Like, she's working so hard on making sure everything's clean. She's making sure that, if I step out, I'm washing my hands to my elbows, 20 seconds, like not 19, not 18, but 20 seconds. Like, there's that part of the world that's changing. And then when you take a look at what's happening in terms of how we're going to go out, like the idea that we have to wear a mask when we go out. I actually just got my mask. I got a couple of pictures of it. If you haven't seen them yet, you can check out my Instagram at Sales Story Ninja. You can go ahead and check that out there. You can see some of my face masks that my mom actually put together. Some face masks. She sewed it up and she brought some over. She's sizing them up for the girls as well. But anyway, with all this change going on, the question is, you know, how do we deal in a world that's changing so much? Like, how do we stay, like, what's not to change, I guess, is the big question. Like, what is the thing that we got to make sure we don't change? Because the truth is, if we change everything, we'd be starting at zero. And the truth is, we can't always change what goes on around, but how we respond to that change is what it is that we have to focus on as human beings, as salespeople, as entrepreneurs. The truth is, like, this is about us staying focused on all the things happening in our lives. This is about us sitting there and understanding, okay, so what's important? What are the things that I'm not going to change? Like, I know for me personally, things I will never change is my faith, my family, right? My responsibilities. Okay, what they might change, but making sure that I take care of them, those will never change. My faith and my family will always be there, right? Those are the things that I'm going to constantly go back to, and those are my rocks. I always tell my wife, honey, you're my rock. You're there. You've always been there, through the ups and the downs. I think our family has been through so many changes, some great changes and some really rough changes. I've been to the top of the mountain. I've been to, 6 feet below the mountain, and I've been back on top again. And I've been through a lot of changes, whether it's financially, health-wise, relationally at home. Like, we've been up and we've been down. But through that, the constant changes, the constant things were always faith, family, and making sure we get done whatever we need to get done, our responsibilities. And that's kind of been the thing that's held us through all of this. And earlier I brought up the fact that this is Easter week. So again, like, this is the week that we really celebrate, our beliefs and what, was done for us. Not trying to be preachy here, but the big thing is that's something that's never changed. I think even through the ups and the downs in our life, we've always had to sit back and have faith and know that whatever has been laid out, it's been done with a better purpose for us. In every situation, every time we went down, we've always been able to fall 2 steps ahead of where we were. And every time we fell forward. And we continued to grow and we continue to grow. And every single one of my failures, which I'll definitely go over on this channel over time, has led to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Truth is, I started off as a teacher. But if I wasn't in such a steady job, I'd never have met my wife. Right? And then from being a teacher, when I realized I couldn't afford my family, I got into car sales. There's a job I had in between, and working for a nonprofit. But if I didn't get fired from that, I never would have gotten into car sales. Then I did really well, top of the mountain. Then I had a big ego, bought a whole bunch of properties, and I got hit, knocked it all down, lost everything. But I had a family again, faith, family. My family was there to help support me through some times when it was rough, and then I was able to get my feet back under me, and we got back into sales again. I had an ego, left, did some entrepreneurial things in real estate. Then we went back and we got back into car sales, and that started to do well financially, but then relationally at home, everything went sideways, and things that matter more, the family, right? And that struggled, and so we had to change that, and so we went back into I went to a different industry, and I got into timeshare, and then I had to learn how to sell timeshare. And that was crazy because timeshare is so different from any other sales that I've done. Like, people come in promising not to buy the thing that I'm about to share with them. They promise themselves not to buy, yet they still come out and they buy. And the question is, how do you do that? And what it is I continually had to, throughout all these different changes, I had to continually recreate and redefine. And then I did well. Then I got moved to training, and I did well with that. And COVID hit, and everything I built, gone. Everything I built in terms of being a trainer, gone. I'm not a trainer anymore. I'm back to the sales line, which is okay. I love sales, right? But I don't even have a sales floor to go to for the next at least 30 days, if not 60 days, right? And if not more than that, right? And so I have to recreate and reinvent. And so that's why I'm doing this. And that's why I'm back out there, because that third thing that's not going to change is I got to take care of my responsibilities. And whether that's financial, relational, emotional, whatever these responsibilities are, I got to take care of, right? And so what I realized is, even though the how may change, the core principles of what's important to me never did. Through amidst all the changes that I dealt with in my life, and I'm sure a lot of us are going through changes right now. Just like a lot of people, I've lost my job. I've been fired from jobs. I lost over almost 90% of my income. Just boom, snap, gone in a day. And I made pretty good money before this. But the best part about all of this is I know that my faith, my God has always been there. He's always served me, always been there to help me, support me. And I know He has a bigger plan through all of this. I've always fallen forward. Two is, I know my family is still here, and they're the biggest support that I have. And I appreciate them to no end, right? And it's because of them. And it's my wife, my kids, my mom, right? My grandmother, my in-laws, everybody in my family has always been there, right? And number 3 is, I know whatever responsibilities we got, food, clothing, shelter, I got to make sure that we take care of that, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that gets done within the ethics and within the law. And so that's why I've changed, and I've redeveloped, and I've tweaked the way I go through things. Again, because my focus is on those 3 things, and I know those things will never change. It's a matter of, how do I do it? How do I make the change? How do I adapt to the change? How do I switch, knowing that those 3 things are steadfast and constant? And that's what it is that, for me, that I'm dealing with right now. This is not something that, boom, I got it. It's easy. Heck no. This is something that I'm fighting through every day. This is going to work for 6 to 12 hours a day to come home and being at home for 24 hours, that's a change. That's new for me. I'm starting to take on a role in homeschooling my kids. I know my wife had been doing that this whole time. I get to homeschool now, and I get to be a teacher and get to go back to doing what I love, which was teaching. What I got my degree in, right? So as things change around us, as long as our core components don't, and you got to find out what's your component. What's your core component? If you don't know what it is, you got to sit down and you have to look at yourself and ask yourself, what do I value? Amidst all the craziness in my life, what are the things that don't change? What are the things that sit there and that are steadfast? What are the things that no matter what I do in my life will always be there? And from there, right? And from there is when you go ahead and you start to have that certainty when the whole world out there isn't giving it to you. You have that certainty to know that, all right, next step, let's do this. And you have the courage to go ahead and step out. And that's what it is. That's what it takes, right? To have that certainty to know that it's there, but you create that certainty not by having it. You create that certainty by having it in here and in here, right? And having something you can be certain in, something you can be certain with. And you continue to focus and fight and be relentless in making sure that those things never fall. And as long as that stays there, you will be successful in the end, step by step by step. And that's where I am. That's where I'm at right now. And so I'm excited. You know, I've picked up my first inbound closing gig, and I'm going to be extremely successful at that. And who knows, I may even be able to replace my timeshare money and do it all from home, which again will be another change. Will be an amazing change, which again will mean that even though something happened to me, I fell forward. I fell to the next step. I fell ahead of myself. And that's what we're going to go ahead and continue to work on. So with that, I just wanted to share my thoughts on change and what's going on at this time, because I think a lot of us are dealing with it. I just wanted to share again the things that kept me in place. Again, it's my faith, it's my family, and it's my responsibilities that make sure that none of those are going to change. I get out there, I do my thing. And with that, aloha. This is Kaleo with Sales Story Ninja. A little more of a personal episode, but I felt something that needed to come out. So anyway, aloha. Talk to you guys later.